everyone, ready for a deep dive? We're tackling audience building today. We've got 3 sources lined up, all about how to find your people and make sure your message really connects.
You know, it's interesting. A lot of success stories out there, they start with serving a smaller, dedicated audience really well.
Okay, I like where you're going with this.
It's like, have you heard that saying, a rising tide lifts all boats?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, think of it this way. It's the enthusiasm from those dedicated fans that creates the wave in the first place.
I love that. It reminds me of those early podcasting days where you start with, what, maybe 100 listeners? But they're your 100 listeners, the ones who really get it, and their excitement is what fuels everything.
Exactly. And this whole idea of finding your niche, it's a big part of this Heroes of Ink magazine excerpt. It talks about how so many ventures, they found success by zeroing in on a specific problem for a specific group, even if it seems small to begin with.
So instead of trying to be everything to everyone, you're laser focused on becoming the go-to for a smaller, more engaged group.
Precisely. Think about it. When you're really into something, you're not just looking for a surface-level experience. You want to go deep, you want expertise, you want a community. That's what focusing on a niche lets you create.
Totally. Especially now when we're all bombarded with content. Standing out means really connecting with the right people.
Absolutely. And, you know, that actually leads perfectly into our next source, this excerpt on production planning. It's focused on productions, sure, but the questions it asks, they apply to anything, from a blog post to a whole business.
Okay, so let's dive into this roadmap. The first thing it asks is, who is your intended audience? Sounds simple enough, but this excerpt really stresses how crucial it is to ask this at every single stage.
Because if you don't know who you're talking to, how are you supposed to know what to say? Or even how to say it so it actually resonates?
Right. It would be like giving a speech in a language no one understands. No matter how brilliant your ideas, they just won't land.
Exactly. And that's why understanding your audience's needs, what they want, even their pain points, it's so important. And it's not just about demographics, age, location, all that. It's about going deeper into psychographics.
Okay, so what exactly are psychographics and why are they so crucial for connecting with an audience? Okay, so what exactly are psychographics and why are they so crucial for connecting with an audience?
It's a great question. Psychographics, they're all about the why. Why do people do what they do? You and I, for example, we might fall into the same demographic, similar age, same city.
Right.
But our values, our motivations, what we want out of life, those could be totally different.
So like one of us is all about sustainable living and the other's got to have the latest tech gadgets. On paper, we look like similar consumers.
Exactly. And understanding those deeper motivations, that's the key to crafting a message that really clicks. And this How to Find Your Target Audience video, it's got a great example. Remember that dental implant website?
Yeah.
They were using pictures of all these young, smiling models.
Eh.
Seems like a good idea, right?
Sure.
But their target audience was older folks. And those images, they just weren't relatable.
They were trying to sell youthfulness to people who were probably more focused on, aging gracefully. Big disconnect.
Exactly. And it just goes to show you can't just know your audience's demographics. You got to get them, empathize with their psychographics. What are they afraid of? What do they want? What are their pain points? Once you get that, then you can tailor your message and even your visuals so they really hit home.
Makes sense. And speaking of resonating with your audience, that video also talked about data analysis, like that story about the children's gift website.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. They just assumed their main customers were women.
Which, makes sense on the surface.
Right. But then they looked at the data, and it turned out while more women visited the site overall, men were way more likely to actually buy something.
Wow, so even though there were fewer men visiting the site, they were the ones actually making purchases more often. It reminds me of how I do all this research before buying anything online, but then it's my partner who actually clicks buy.
It's a perfect example. Data can uncover things about your audience you might not expect. And that best part is, you don't need to be a data whiz to figure it out. Google Analytics, for example. That can tell you tons about who's on your site, what they're looking at, even where they lose interest.
That is super helpful. Okay, so we've got the why, the psychographics, and the who, using data to understand your audience's behavior. But what about the how? How do you actually connect with your audience once you know who they are and what they care about? There was that interesting part in the video about content format, right? So we got the why, the psychographics, and the who, using data to understand your audience's behavior. But what about the how? How do you actually connect with your audience once you know who they are and what they care about? There was that interesting part in the video about content format, right?
Totally. It's all about meeting your audience where they are.
Hmm.
Some people, they love a long blog post. They really want to sink their teeth into something.
Right.
Others, they want a 2-minute video, get in, get out.
Makes sense.
And some are all about visuals, while others connect more with the written word. It really varies.
It's like that saying, it's not about you, it's about them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that applies to everything, your social media posts, your email newsletters, even how you structure your products or services.
Okay.
Like if you're talking to busy professionals,
Yeah.
short, to-the-point content,
Makes sense.
but a community of hobbyists, they might be craving those deep dives, all the details.
It's fascinating how all this connects back to that Heroes of Ink idea, serving a smaller, dedicated audience really well.
Right.
By understanding their preferred format, you're basically saying, hey, I respect your time, I respect your preferences.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
builds trust. And when you're consistent with that, delivering great content in a format they like, they'll stick around, engage with your work, even become advocates for you.
It's like quality over quantity, but for audience engagement.
100%.
So instead of trying to be everywhere at once, you're focusing on being in the right places at the right time with the right message in the right format.
Now you're getting it. Strategic alignment. Aligning your message, your format, your delivery, everything with what your audience actually wants and needs.
This has been eye-opening. We've covered so much, from finding your niche to data analysis, content formats. It's clear that building any kind of successful presence, online or off, starts with really understanding your audience.
Couldn't agree more. And the exciting part is it's an ongoing journey. You learn, you grow, your understanding of your audience grows with you.
It's that constant evolution.
Exactly. Stay curious, experiment, always be looking for ways to refine what you're doing.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something to think about. What's a seemingly small or niche audience you could serve incredibly well? What knowledge or skills do you have that could really help a specific group of people?
That's a great question to consider, because so often the most impactful journeys, they start with a single step, a single connection, a single act of service that resonates with the right people.
Think about that, everyone, and until next time, happy diving!